This month is February, and our theme for this month is trust. So trust is such an interesting word. There's things like trust falls, right? People do things like that. People do all kinds of different things that want to, like in team building, where they're trying to ensue some feeling of trust of the people in your organization or whatever the case may be. Then we have trust of so that's like a work trust, right? And then we have like global trust. Do we trust our government? Do we trust our leaders? Do we trust blah, 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 right? So there's that, right? And that's like a bigger bubble beyond us. And sometimes those things feel like you can't do anything to control that. Do you know what I mean? Like we can't. We can try to vote a certain way. We can try to, like I'm big on my shopping dollars. I always buy my produce and my meat from the farm because like that's where I want to know. You know what I mean? So it's there's like a limited amount of control that we can have with people that we quote unquote trust, right? So then we kind of pull that circle in like a little bit closer, right? And then we've got like our family members, right? Maybe you came from like an upbringing like I had, and you don't really trust a parent. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really trust you. You know what I mean? I don't trust your response. I don't trust how you're going to act, And then we can kind of like pull in a little bit closer then. And then like in our relationships with like our partners or our kids, and it's like, do we trust there, right? So everything is this like evolution of trust. Today, though, we're going to start with the trust that we have for ourselves. Because see, the thing is that everything is just coming from us. Everything is just coming from us. And so, the more we really dial into that understanding, then it starts to make everything else, like as that ripple starts to kind of go outward, then we can kind of navigate through the world in a way that it's like, well, I trust myself in these situations. I trust how I'm going to respond. I trust my own integrity. I trust that the voices in my head, the itty bitty poopy committee that exists inside of there is just voices, and I'm not going to listen to them. I'm not going to placate into them. Things like that. Okay? So that's where we want to start today. I was talking to somebody, and they had said something. It was really cool. I really loved what they had said. They said that they had several years of sobriety. I know a lot of people who are in the world of addiction, and everybody is an addict. I don't care who you are. I don't care how perfect you think you are. Everybody is an addict. If you listen to Gabor Mate's work, everybody is an addict. Whether it's shopping, whether it's TV, whether it's video games, whether it's scrolling on your phone, you know what I mean? Like everybody has something that we just dive into, and then we've lost all sense of time and space, and then, you know what I mean? And so, when people are working with different types of addictions, like substance addictions and things like that, they go through a road of sobriety, and maybe that's happened several times over in their life, like they've kind of gone in and out of their sobriety. They start to lose trust for themselves. They start to lose trust that they can do it again. And I'm here to tell you that you can do it again. And so anytime somebody falls down, they can get right back up again. You just can. I mean, you just can. And so it's really cool, but it's like, do you trust yourself, right? So then the trust comes in a belief that you need to have in yourself and who you are. And so we can trust ourselves when we believe in ourselves. Then we can start to take that and we can start to ripple it then back out the other way, right? It's really easy to get real nihilistic and really cynical about the ways of the world and how horrible everything is, like I talked about last week, and like we zip, we don't focus on any of that, okay? Not in these little walls in this little corner of the universe, okay? Because we can't change the world focusing on it like that. We can change the world focusing inside of ourselves and becoming a higher vibrational being, more compassionate, more loving, more patience, more acceptance, more respect, more kindness, all of that. That's how we actually change the world, right? but it's got to come from us. So I keep going back to this because I just like, I'm really trying to drive this point home. How do you talk to yourself? Do you belittle yourself? If you belittle yourself and you're not kind to yourself, then you will find fault with the rest of the world. Okay? So how much grace do you give yourself? Are you hard on yourself, like as far as like goals and things like that? Because if you're hard on yourself in that regard, then you're hard on yourself with other people too. Okay? So my husband and I were listening to something the other day. I've been listening to these like little Taoist things, and it was very interesting. And the guy was talking about how we treat other people. And as we were listening to it, it was really, really clear that the impatience that we have for others is the exact same reflection of the impatience that we have for ourselves. So I just go back to it again. Everything comes back to us. Okay? So tonight we're going to kind of just walk through this idea of trusting ourselves a little bit more, right? Maybe it's, and a lot of that comes down to how much grace are we willing to give ourselves. That's how we start to trust ourselves more, okay? We set a real lofty goal that's like ridiculous and we will never be able to attain it. Then when we don't fulfill it, then we say things to ourselves like, I never can stick to any of my goals, you know? And it's like, well, maybe you set the goal in a really weird place. The other thing is that we don't focus on the journey of where we were when we started versus where we are now. So these are really important concepts as we talk about like learning to genuinely trust ourselves. We just want to trust. We want to trust that we can make changes in our life. We want to trust that we can react in different situations with love and kindness towards ourselves. Okay? Towards ourselves first. Everything is towards ourselves first. So for tonight, I want you all to just kind of follow. We have a lot of people that are new here. Who's never meditated? Okay, so a lot of the newer people have not meditated. So great, that's cool. I love that. That's why you're here. This is why we're here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the body mechanics of how we meditate, and then we're going to drop into the meditation. And so if you are somebody, so I say this all the time for people who are new, if you are somebody who is not comfortable in your skin, okay, and it's not a judgment, it just is. When I first started meditating, I was like, oh, I think my foot just died. So like, and then you're like, try not to make any noise. And you're like, you know what I mean? Like this whole thing's going on. So it just happens. You can sit in a chair or you can lie on your back. Now, if you lie on your back, this is really specific because I don't want anybody falling asleep because there's a big difference between meditation and a nap. So if you decide to lay on your back, your feet have to be on the floor, your knees have to be to the ceiling, and your hands have to be on your belly. I wouldn't put the bolster behind your head because then it breaks your airway. So just put the blankie there, okay? All right, and then that way you don't fall asleep, all right? And you're not wiggling about and you're trying to stay still. If you wiggle, don't worry, it's okay, I'm not gonna get mad. If you cough like Paige did, I'm not gonna get mad. Okay. It's okay. I think I've told this story before, but my stepmother and I, we used to go to this one place to meditate, and he was strict. Like, you don't cough, you don't wiggle, you don't move. Once he dropped you in, like you're like, so I would be like, if I had to cough. So then we went to this other place, and that Rinpoche was just like super laid back and cool, and I was like, try not to cough, and I'm like this, and Vicky's like, you can cough here, it's okay. I'm like, oh, thank God, I'm so happy. Okay, all right. So for our meditation practice, we are going to sit nice and tall. If you're not doing the other things that I just said, you're going to sit nice and tall, and you're going to almost think of your crown of your head as being like pulled up like a marionette, and then your chin will just automatically tuck in a little bit. Now you can have your legs crossed however it feels comfortable. I'm doing like a half lotus. There's like Sukhasana where they're kind of in front of each other. You can do full crisscross applesauce, whatever feels good to you, okay? I like to have my hips higher than my knees because then that way it takes pressure off the low back. My shoulders are rolled back and then down. So it's like my chest is proud and my chin is humble. That's kind of the theory behind that. You can have your hands palm face down if you want to, or you can have them palms face up. You can do chin mudra with your hands, which is your thumb and your index finger barely touching. You can do that also up or down, it doesn't matter. If you're feeling cold because the room is a little bit chillier tonight, then you pull your hands in kind of a cupping position and hold them close to you. That way there's less airflow going through here and you'll feel a little bit cool or warmer. It's like makes you a little bit toasty. Okay? So if you feel a little bit more feminine energy in your body tonight, then your left hand goes underneath your right. If you have more masculine, then your right goes under your left. And we have both inside of us, all of us do. So, okay. So sitting up nice and tall, tucking that chin. Then your eyes are closed softly. We don't want them pierced shut. We just want them lightly closed. So it's almost as if you can barely see light coming through, just a little bit. That's a good indicator of how much the eyes are closed. Make sure your jaw is loose. Loosen it up just a little bit because we don't want to have our teeth clenched. We want it to be nice and loose and soft. Sometimes it's good to check in with your tongue. Is it like pressed forward or is it like pressed down or pressed to the roof of your mouth? Try to take a second to just loosen up the tongue in your mouth so that everything settles in nice. Okay? And then sometimes, if you can, it's nice to put a little smile on your face. The smile, it loosens up the meridian points underneath your nose and on the sides of your mouth. And then it sends a signal to your entire central nervous system that you are safe and that you're happy and everything's okay. So let's all take a nice deep breath in. And then let that go. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale in. And let it go. Now you should notice that from those breaths that the body shifted and changed and settled in a little bit more. The sits bones should feel a little bit more grounded. The back should feel a little bit more relaxed. And let's go ahead and now just allow ourselves to focus on that breathing. And this will help to still the body even more. So it's nice, slow, smooth inhales and nice, relaxed exhales. Notice how you can feel the air coming into your nose. And you can even feel the air, the temperature. It gets cold when it comes in, and then it's a little bit more warm when it goes out. You can even feel it in the back of your throat as well. You can feel the cold air. It's almost like it dries out the back of the throat a little bit. But then on the exhalation, you can feel the moisture return and everything stabilizes. Notice how your chest and your belly rise on the inhalation. You can just even feel the lungs fill up with air. And then on exhalation, you can feel everything kind of crowd back down into the body. You may even be able to start to feel your heartbeat. Sometimes you can feel it in your neck, sometimes in your chest, your back. There's different places where you'll start to notice it. So keep your attention on the heartbeat for right now. So we can start off with that we trust that our heart is beating and it's working. We even have proof of it. We can feel it in our body. We're also here, and we're all sitting in this room. So we trust that this heart just does its job. We don't have to dictate. We do not have to instruct it in any way. It's just doing its job. We can trust that all the organs are doing what they're supposed to be doing. The kidneys and the liver and all of our glands. It's just doing what they're supposed to be doing. And again, it's not ours to dictate, tell, instruct. It's just happening. We can trust that when we go home, we'll kind of settle up for the evening and complete the tasks that need to be completed and settle off to bed. We're pretty confident we'll wake up the next morning and go about our day. So we have levels of predictability in our life that we can count on. We feel pretty good about, that we know that we are capable of doing. There's also bigger tasks that show up in our wake. But we know that we can do those things too, whatever they are. So I'd like you to go to a time where you really had to work on something that was important to you. Maybe it was something for work. Maybe it was something for your family. Maybe it was an assignment that you had to do. Maybe it just felt really overwhelming. And you just couldn't see how you were going to do it all. But then you can recall that there were daily steps. It's that moment by moment. And in the moment by moment, little by little, you can see the completion. Something happens in those moments. Those are the moments that you know that you have it in you to make changes, to do hard things. Sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit. So what I'd like you to do right now is in your mind, you're going to give yourself a praise for accomplishing even the smallest thing. Just like you were going to give praise to somebody that you loved more than anything in this world. But you're going to do it to yourself. Just telling yourself what a great job you did. Make sure you tell yourself how proud you are of yourself. Thank yourself for working so hard and being so dedicated. And I'd like you to picture yourself in that perfected state where you've given yourself the love and the kindness and the appreciation. And for the next few minutes, we're going to hold that image of ourselves in our mind. And if for some reason your mind starts to wander, just find yourself back to that image of yourself with all of that love, appreciation, and praise on your face. You can break the focus of that meditation and go back to your breath. And you can allow yourself to start to move around a little bit and loosen yourself back up and let those eyes be the last thing to come back online. So trusting yourself really comes down to loving ourselves. It really, really does. It's so interesting. Because we're hard on ourselves. We're just hard on ourselves, right? And we just kind of get caught in these cycles where we think we're not good enough, not smart enough, not whatever. And it's just like, so you got to ask yourself, whose voice is that in your head? You know, it's probably not yours. It's probably somebody else's. I know what my voice is in my head. She wears stiletto heels and had really frizzy red hair. That was my mom. And so that voice, it goes in there, and then I'm like, oh, that's not my voice. That's not, I don't talk to myself like that. You know what I mean? So, and then you just catch it, and you're like, I'm super awesome, and I do really good things, you know? So, and we just need it, and then the more we trust ourselves, the more we love ourselves through this, then we can start to go the other way, and we can start to love and trust the people in our circle. And we do less harmful things to people when we love ourselves and we trust ourselves. Okay, I can have a quick temper, and I can have a mean, vicious tongue, and so I have to be careful of that. And so I've had to work on that over the years and make sure, because I can be real snarky and real clever with my comebacks on things. And so I'm married to a man now that does not let me get away with that. It's very, very good. So when we were first dating, he'd say things like, I don't know who you think you're talking to. And I'm like, what? So I had to catch myself. And so, but it's good, because I kind of thought that I was being clever. I was trying to kind of get my point across in a way that was like mean or manipulative. And so I've really had to work on that, you know. And so that's been something that I've really tried to overcome in my life, because that's coming from an insecure place in me, right? That's coming from my insecurity. I'm doing that because I'm insecure. I'm trying to control everything. I'm trying to like whatever. So that's coming from me. And so then what does that do? Then that makes him not feel safe, right? And then so it just keeps on going, right? So this is where we go, okay, shoop, I gotta like focus on me right now. That's all. Okay. Okie dokie. So we have lots and lots coming up this month. This Friday, and I'm going to be gone, and I'm super bummed. It is Christina Rich's last archetypal dance. If you have not done it, you have to go. Are you bummed?
I've done almost everyone.
Have you really? Good girl.
3.
That's awesome. Yeah. So this is the last one. Try to go. Huh. It's super cool.
I hope she does it again.
I know. She just needs a break. She's been doing it for a long time, 2 years. That's a long time. So that, and then on Saturday, we have a partner yoga class, and that's going to be really nice. So Kristen and Kathy are offering that together. And so there's going to be like, they're going to have some rose tea, and they're going to have little snacks and stuff like that. And so it's going to be really nice. And again, this isn't at the couples class, then we have an actual couples class. But if you want your, like your partner to come, then great. But if you just have a buddy that's going to come, like that's okay too. All right. So it's not like it's going to be like, hey, we got to get into this really weird position now because this is what we're doing for this partner class. It's not like that.
So, okay. Sunday's class with Amanda. Sunday's class with Amanda.
That's Amanda's class.
Yeah.
Amanda's class, which is a Kundalini class, that is very different. That's going to be, so that's on the 15th. And that's going to be like, you want to bring, your partner with you, whatever that means. Okay? Don't worry, we don't get that weird here.
Just kidding.
No, we don't do that here. She better not. She'll be in big trouble. You'll be in big trouble. And then kids yoga is next weekend. Reiki share is the week that same weekend. And then we have 2 of my favorite things coming up. On the 21st, we have Kirtan, which makes me so happy. I am so happy that they are coming. So if you've never done Kirtan before, please do it. It's 20 in advance and 25 at the door. It's like, that's the cheapest thing. What is it?
Yes.
Oh, you're like, I saw you like, and I'm like, I wonder. I know what Kirtan is. Why don't you know what Kirtan is? So Kirtan's really cool. So there's mantras, right? So in the Hindu faith, there's like these different mantras that they do, and they're prayers, and so then they're to music. And so we chant them. So it's kind of like a sing and repeat type of a thing. And so, but all the words are on the wall. And so you don't have to know it. You do not need to know what the words are. You just kind of, even if you don't know, just Jema, every so often is. So, and then, but it's super, what it does, it's very interesting when you chant like that and you sing like that for an hour or so. something in your body shifts. All of the cells in your body turn into like carbonated water, and you just feel amazing. I don't know how else to explain it. And you leave and you're like, I feel like there's all this space inside of my body. I mean, like, it's really amazing. It's one of my favorite things. Okay, so that is that weekend. Then on the 28th, it's the Customer Appreciation Day. So we are excited about that. So we still have spaces for vendors. So if anybody knows anybody, let me know. Have them call me. And I think that that's it. Anything else? Paige, Quentin?
Hiking club?
Hiking club.
Let them go. This is too much. They're not going to. Everyone take a calendar on the way.
They're yawning.
I know. Yes, yes. So there is calendars on the thing. If you don't have a calendar, grab one. And but yeah, so hiking club is usury, right, Quint?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to the Wind Cave.
That is my favorite hike in the valley.
That one?
Yeah, a year and a half ago. I know. When it all starts to blend together.
I know.
That's a year and a half.
I know. Yeah.
Your mind's just getting blown over there.
I know. Okay, you guys, and then as always, thank you so much for coming. You know, if this is something that adds value to your life, we are accepting donations this year. If you can't do it, don't ever feel like you have to. Nobody ever will be turned away. This is an open place for everybody. This is a safe, safe, safe place. If you have the means to be able to give anything, then that's great. There's a wooden box out there. There's also a thing out there that you can do QR codes, but nobody is obligated to do anything. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.